Dealing up, just what's been your thoughts? Been obviously the other coaches have said a lot of good things about Stephen Carr. What's been your impression of the progress he's made, basically, and what did you kind of have to work with him to? I don't know if the word is fix, but I guess what did you sort of work with him on since you got him here?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is just was assimilating to the way that we work and just blending into the culture here, at IU. And I knew it would be a cultural fit when the opportunity came to get him, but just having him, immersing him into our playbook, but more importantly into the culture and just getting to know the guys, that was the number one thing. I knew his skill set would be high level. He had to continue to learn our offense and see how he fits into it. I think the last couple of scrimmages and practices have continued to put him in a position to potentially have that lead role. But again, we'll continue to evaluate that as we prepare for Iowa.
I know you've known him for a long time, but seeing him in person for the first time in a while, what was there anything that you've that's surprised you at all, or anything about him that seeing him face to face finally that you've learned in these last few weeks of camp?
No, it's a continuation of what we did when we was at SC. So I mean, I know when we sitting in the room, he was taking pictures and sending stuff back to some of the other guys who I coached there, saying, "Yeah, this is what it was like. We back at it." So I mean, it was good to reconnect and just continue his maturation process to get him where he wants to go, but more importantly, to get him blended into what we're doing, so we can all go to the mountaintop together.
Yeah, Coach. I know you ultimately kind of consult with Coach Sheridan on this, but just divvying up carries. I mean, are you a believer in a feature back, a guy that gets the ball 15, 20 times, or do you see opportunities maybe to keep guys fresh in terms of like how you use a running back?
Yeah, I think my history is pretty well noted, whether it be here at IU, at SC, and in the NFL. I'm gonna play several guys. Yes, it's gonna be a lead horse guy who's the main feature guy, but I believe in you get diminishing returns when you just burn a guy out. So whoever's the lead guy, I mean, he'll get the bulk of the action, but I think people will be surprised how much the second guy and other guys supplement the main person.
And then from a skill set point of view, what do you think has impressed you the most about Steven during these weeks of camp?
Like I said, I'd already worked with him, so I mean, it was kind of just an opportunity to see what I saw his freshman year when he was an All Pac-12 guy, and just a upper end player. He continued to mature. More of his leadership is more evident right now, but his ability to run with speed, run with power, make guys miss, and just being a dynamic athlete, great acceleration is on display for everybody to see. Now is continuing to bring out along the other supplementary pieces and to make sure Steven, if it draws out that he is the main guy, that I keep him hungry and keep him striving to be an upper level guy in the nation.
David Holloman is really one of the guys who's standing out. What have you seen from him? Why do you think
Yeah, David Holloman, I mean, shoot, I'm going to tell you what, an interesting guy. You know what I'm saying? Works really hard, takes a lot of notes. And I think once he got to a point, maybe 4, 5, 6 days into camp where he kind of calmed his nerves, you're getting to see some good things out of him as a ball carrier. Now, he is a freshman, so you got to continue to, just his maturation process, seeing signals, processing information fast. But he's done some good things. He's caught, the whole the offensive coach's eyes, obviously, as well as our head coach. So he'll continue to be a work in progress, but I like some of the things he's been doing so far.
All right, Matt and Jim Coyle.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
All right.
He just asked you about David. I was going to ask about Trent. He's a guy that always had a knee injury back last fall playing basketball. I mean, seeing him on the field, he's impressive. Physically, what have you seen from him, and what kind of future does he have?
Well, I mean, that's all to be determined. I mean, physically, he's a very good-looking guy, imposing guy. But then you want to take and have that manifest itself on the field in a productive fashion. So that's what we continuing to work on, having him detail all of his work, be fundamentally sound, make sure his footwork is excellent, make sure his body lean. That's a big thing we've been working on for a guy who's with that type of size. He still need to have a body lean. He can't run into guys with his chest, so just some of the idiosyncrasies of playing the position, are the things that we're working on at this point. But I'm excited about what he can become, but he got to continue to work at it.
All right, Jim, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what has been added to this running game, whether it's you or Stephen Carr, that has made the biggest difference for this offense going forward? The running game has not hurt this offense before, but it hasn't really stood out, like I said before. But it seems this year that there's really all the different pieces, like whether it's you or Stephen Carr. But what have you seen as the biggest increment that has jumped?
Well, I think, just coming in, not being in the room and not knowing any of the specifics of anything in the past outside of the time I was here, it's just, creating a mentality in our room where the foundation is the details and the mentality. So having the details of kind of what we do, everything is detailed. These guys' footwork, eye placement, aiming points, just the technique in which we're going to go out there and operate on a high level. So having all those things detailed and then having an upper level standard as to how we're going to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. The guys have bought into that. It's up to me to provide the fuel to make those things happen. But then I got to be able to give these guys the components to go out there and operate on a high level. And so far in camp, we've done some good things. The plan is for that to continue to manifest itself out as we go through this run through the Big Ten, starting here in a week or so. So just excited about what we're doing. I think the guys are too. They get a lot of questions answered as to what we're doing. I'm able to give those guys the whys as to what we're doing in an articulate fashion. The guys really walk out of the room feeling emboldened about what we're doing in there because they understand everything as far as what we're trying to get done in there. And it's not just, hey, go do this or do that. They understand all of the technique and the detail to operate on a high level.
All right, Rick Bozich, last one, please.
Yeah, Coach, seen Stephen run on video, but not seen him in person. You obviously have, and you're working with him in practice. Can you just sort of outline what his strengths are and what are the one or two things that you need him to work on and get better at?
Well, his strengths are he's very explosive. His change of direction is high end. His ability, obviously, to make people miss. He runs with power. He runs with decisiveness, especially, getting back on par with our read keys and making things easy for him so he's able to react and quickly and react tight off movement. His pass protection is where I want it to be also. Obviously, he has great hands. We'll be able to see those on display as we continue to go through the season. The things to continue to work on is just, all the finer points of our offense, just continuing to work on those, seeing signals, different things like that, not relying on the quarterback to tell them the plays and not tell them the plays, but tell them, hey, here's what was just signaled in, et cetera. So getting his eye discipline together as far as that concerned. But when the ball is snapped, he's going to know what he's doing. He's going to operate on a high level, and we're all excited about that.